everyone, and welcome back to another Halloween makeup tutorial. Today I am doing a Queen of the Dead look. This is just kind of a character that I saw in my head and I wanted to put out into the world. So let's get started. Of course, I am going to start by priming my eyelids with some concealer, and then I'm going to go in with a foundation brush and blend all this out. All this lovely concealer we are going to blend out. I also made sure to highlight under my brows quite heavily, because for the brows I am going to fill them in with black eyeshadow. So they are very sharp and stark because I am wearing a black wig, as you probably noticed from the thumbnail. So all of this is going to be very dark, very spooky, and also kind of a make it up as I go sort of look. Like I had a vision, but not a super clear one. So yeah, I just knew like black, really high angled eyebrows were gonna have to be a part of this look, because not only are they flattering to the face, they look super menacing, and black eyebrows just, I think they look really good with black hair. So now going in with a dark, kind of charcoaly gray shadow. This is a matte shadow, by the way. I am just going to start with my crease, and this actually turned out to be a really creamy shade, so I didn't have to blend it too much, and it gave me the right amount of pigmentation the very first time. So I just went in and then winged it out a bit on the end. I am using an angled brush to kind of aid in that process. But yeah, kind of like a cut crease here, kind of not, because I do blend the top out a little bit, just so it's not too harsh going up into that brow bone. But, you know, again, this is a look that's pretty open to interpretation, but this is just my version. So I wanted to keep everything really gray tone, lots of black. Like here on the lid, this color is called Deep Fog, and it is a dark gray that actually has some silver shimmer to it. So I thought I would put that on the lid for a little bit of dimension, even though I am going to put glitter on. Sometimes it's nice having a sparkly base. So I start laying down my glue. Yes, I'm using lash glue. Don't use lash glue. Don't do this on yourself. I do not recommend it. Just use a glitter glue. I just didn't have one. But yeah, so I am putting on some red glitter. This one is from Sin Cosmetics, and I don't think they're operating anymore, which is really sad because I have a ton of their glitters. I thoroughly enjoy their products. But yeah, I went in with a small brush and just started packing red glitter on. And then on the inner part of the lid, same thing, put some glue down and pack on some black glitter. This is also from Sin Cosmetics. And you'll kind of notice here, there is a little bit of an elongated inner corner that I did. You're going to want to do that for this look because it just creates a very menacing eye shape. So then I just blended the two colors together and had them meet in the middle, and then threw on some really stark white shimmery highlight underneath the brow bone, just to really bring that out and make my eyes look a little bit sunken in. And then I tight lined my eyes, which I don't do often, but I took this black pencil and did it, and I'm so glad I did because it made my eyes so much brighter, so much more intense, especially once I got my mascara and my lashes on. It just brought everything out so clear and, you know, kind of like colored contact looking without having to use them, because I can't use colored contacts. They irritate my eyes. So then I went underneath on the bottom lash line and filled that in with the same black shade, and then just ended up taking a brush and kind of blending that out, because I have a really hard time with my eyes watering when I put anything on my lower lash line, so it tends to make it a little bit chunky. So I use a brush to smooth everything out. I did not connect it to the black in the inner corner because we're going to use a little bit of a different liner here, and that is this red one from ColourPop, and I wanted you guys to see the shape of this. So I slowed this down a little bit. I just brought it out kind of in a low cat eye, so right underneath that black glitter, to create this little triangle, and then connected it to the black. So it kind of created like a double liner effect, and it created a really cool eye shape and kind of helped contour the nose a little bit. So play around with that. And then I mixed some white face paint and foundation to create this very, very pale shade, and then blended it out with a sponge. This is actually like oil-based paint, so like people call it grease paint, but it's not greasy. But yeah, a cream face paint rather than water activated, because that's a little bit harder to mix. It can be done, but it's just not as effective. So I blended this all out and made sure I brought it down to my neck and a little bit on my chest, so there was a nice fade of color here. It would look even better if my whole body was this color, but I only have so much product in the world to do that. But yeah, if I didn't have a dress that had cutouts on the shoulders, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I do. So anyway, I am just blending this all out. This took a really long time to blend just because there's, sometimes the foundation wants to fight the paint, and sometimes it can go patchy and all that good stuff. So, just trust the process, work with it, get some different shaped sponges if you gotta, like some smaller ones. Mine's really big just because I like being able to kind of blend my whole face in a couple pats. But then I just took a e.l.f. translucent powder and put this all over to set everything. And you're going to want to put on a couple layers like I did here. And you want to make sure you don't disturb your face paint too much. So just kind of check as you're going along that's not lifting or creating sort of any patchy areas. So now going in with the contour, I took the same gray shade that we used on the face on a very small shadow brush and drew a line where I wanted the contour and just started pulling it down. So down into the hollows of my cheeks and towards my jaw and then down around my chin. Again, this is a trust the process kind of thing. It's going to depend on your face shape, how much product you have to use, how much needs blended, and all of that jazz. So I just drew the lines as kind of a guide and then just pulled everything down, building up the amount of product. I didn't dip back in too much because sometimes it gets too dark and you get kind of a beard, and I didn't want that. So I used my sponge to kind of sharpen up some of the edges and then used a bigger brush to blend that line out. And then I also went all along my forehead, and that actually lifted some of the paint, so I had to go back in and kind of blend over top of it with the brush. So now I am just going in with some white highlight on my cheekbones, my nose, and my cupid's bow. And then I drew these little lines under the eyes just because it felt a little bit naked under there. You could put rhinestones, you could put more glitter, whatever you like. But I kind of liked just not really this blood effect, but almost like just a little bit more menacing, kind of magical looking face paint. So then I went in with Copenhagen from NYX, and this is a creamy matte lip cream, and put this on. And I do wish this was a little bit darker. I think the color's kind of faded because this is a little bit of an older lipstick. But yes, I would have liked a more deep kind of bloody red, but it worked. I layered it up. And then I threw on my costume and the crown. And the crown is from Sweet V, and everything else is from Amazon except my corset, which you guys will see on Instagram, is from True Corset. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look. I really like this one. I think it turned out very pretty. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.